Good morning. My name is Julia Flinworry, and welcome to Make Some Money Honey Monday Momentum. It is 7:02 Pacific Time and 10:02 a.m. Eastern Time. And today we are very excited to have a wonderful topic, which is how to choose the correct direct sales company for you to suit your lifestyle and your goals. And we have the MLM Queen with us today, Brenda Graham from BrendaGrahamSuccessMentor.com, who's going to be sharing her ideas and information. At first, I'd like to introduce everyone to you, starting with Sarah Coolidge. Sarah, coming to you from the West Coast. Remember to unmute everybody. Oh, Sarah, you're muted, babe.
So you mute me, but I have to unmute me, huh? Great. Well, I'm not going to be able to keep track of that. I'll be really quiet, I promise. So good morning, everyone. Congratulations for finding your way here at 7 o'clock, at least Pacific time in the morning. This is Monday Momentum and Make Some Honey. We are talking to you from coast to coast. It's just a quick little half hour every Monday morning to get you in the right direction so that when you slide into home base on Friday, you're feeling really good about your whole week. So congratulations for joining us. We're going to give you some really exciting, interesting topics and things to think about, all designed to help you have more success. Good morning. You're muted now. Ha ha ha.
Now I'm muted. I'd like to introduce you to our next panelist, coming to you from icy New England, where we don't know what time of year you're watching this, but right now, this time of year, she's having the, is that right, Linda Kay? Oh, she's not able to communicate yet, it looks like, so we're going to move on from Linda.
Can you hear me now? Just like
Yes,
a Verizon commercial.
we can hear you now. Go ahead, tell us who you are.
Awesome, Linda Kay, and I'll tell you what, it feels like the Arctic here. This is the first snowstorm that I have not plowed myself out yet. We got another foot of snow, and we got another 3 inches coming tomorrow. Oh my gosh, I need some Monday momentum.
Absolutely, and we're so glad that we're here together today, and we're going to be able to talk a little bit about what's going on. I'd like to do a really great introduction of my local Marylander here, living on the East Coast with me, Brenda Graham. Brenda and I met several years ago through networking. I have the utmost respect for her. I have learned so much about myself and about other people just by knowing her, and being around her has made me a happier, better person. If it hadn't been for Brenda, I never actually would have met Sarah or Linda either. So I am very grateful and very excited to introduce Brenda Graham to all of you who you've seen week to week, but this time we're going to be hearing a little bit more from her and a little bit more about her. And without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to Brenda. Brenda.
Well, thank you so much, Miss Julia. And you know, it's really my pleasure to have the affiliation with you, because without you, I would not be here, and certainly my web presence would not be what it is today. So, madam, I give you kudos. The pleasure is all mine. So, today we want to talk about something very important. I think so. Can you see my crown, girl?
Yes, we can.
Okay, good. So Brenda Graham, the Success Mentor, just wants to talk a little bit today about choosing the right business for you. And when I talk about this, I just want to remind everybody, and this is really the most important fact about the whole thing, when you're looking for a business, is that it truly is about you. It isn't about the company. It isn't about what they sell. It is about you. It's about um, your personality, how you work with other people. You have to understand the time commitment that you might have to make, your family situation, things that are going on in your life. These are all very significant things as females that we have to consider. Now, I said females, but men usually don't include all of those things because they have a wife. females don't. And so since our audience is mostly females, I just thought that I would address that because in direct sales and multi-level marketing, they're only about 10% male ratios, but they make 95% of the money. And I really do believe it's because they all have lives. They have somebody to manage those things I just mentioned. They don't have the need to do that. Somebody is managing for them. So those are the main considerations as a female I think we should make.
So we need to wife.
I'm sorry, Julie? Sarah?
Yes. Sarah saying, so in order to have success, one of the things might be get a wife. I've wanted one for a long time. Just because, somebody to do all that stuff. Get a wife.
So is this some new information, Sarah? Okay, leave it alone. Leave it alone. Don't touch it. So that's number one.
I think it'd be great.
I didn't say anything.
Okay, can I just chime in here for a second?
You may.
I once had a boss who gave me an article that was written that says every working woman needs a wife.
Thank you.
It is so true. So go ahead.
I wonder if that's the best word or if it merely is somebody who offers you assistance and provides you the support.
Right.
And Julia, that's what you are to me.
Yeah, that's why having an assistant makes such a difference, because they are assisting you the way a wife might if you were lucky enough to be married. I know I'm really going down a bad road now, but all of those other duties or tasks, if someone else was helping with that, would make a big difference. And I agree with what Brenda's saying.
I am really surprised to hear that statistic that that direct sales only has 10% of people, 10% of men, but they make 90% of the money. 95.
Oh, 95.
I'm in awe of that, and I've always been accused of being kind of a female, not a female chauvinist, but kind of a feminist, and went to Catholic, all girls Catholic high school, and I'm the oldest of 3 girls, and we never had a guy to compete with. I was always, you just did what you did. But I wonder if that has to do with the way women view money and the way men view money, like how they say men view money as a tool to get something else, and women have a harder time with thinking of money as something to be used as a tool. That actually is something I learned from CEO space, where I learned that money is something you leverage. It's not something you hold on to for dear life. And I wonder if that has anything to do with it. I don't want to take us down that road, but I'm fascinated by that information. I've never heard that before, Brenda. So thank you for sharing that. It's very enlightening to me.
So there's another topic for us: women and money and why you need a wife.
So I'll let you get back on track, Brenda. So
Okay. So after you actually focus on your needs, and in that focus, you need to consider your why. And if you don't have a strong enough why, then you should not even have the conversation of looking for a business, because it has to meet a need, a definite need, because it's quite a sacrifice and time adjustment. It's work. It's another job that you're taking on, technically. So you need to consider why. Why are you looking to do this? Is it to give you extra time? Is it to stay home with the kids? Is it for a vacation fund? It has to be something that really is heart-rendering and will pull you over that hump when when it gets very difficult. So that's significant. Number 2, I would say the company itself. Sometimes you really don't care what the company sells, although it should be something you may have an interest in, but you need to actually look at how long the company has been in existence, a lot of people say, oh, let me join a startup, because when you join a startup, you have the best chance of making money. But startup businesses, especially in multi-level marketing and direct sales, they're just like restaurants. In the first 5 years, many of them, I would almost say 75% plus, are not in existence because they have the same failure rate. So you have to consider that. You have to look at the culture of the company. Do they have a team kind of feeling? Do they actually address your needs based on who you are? If you're touchy-feely, then you might look for a company that does or looks into things that make people feel good. If you're somebody who's technical, you might look for something that's IT or business. My being a nurse, I always lean toward things that are health related and nutritional. So consider that. And consider, when you're doing that, the actual length that they've been in business. So that time really is important. So just because a company is 10, 15, or 25 years old doesn't mean you as a person can't make a lot of money if you decide to be a participant. Let's see.
Can I ask you a question?
Check. Uh-huh.
Could I jump in on and ask a question? And I really would love to hear from the other folks. I wrote down in the chat box a couple things you were talking about. What's your why, products or services, startup versus established company. But I wanted to circle back to when you were talking about the why, and I wanted to hear kind of a clarification on what that means, and also a little my own personal story, which is, why did I want to start my own company, or why do I want to work for myself? And I asked this question also of you, of Linda, of Sarah. And I don't even mean just in direct sales, because we're talking specifically about direct sales, but working for yourself. Why is that so important? When I ask people that question, in general, their snap response is always money. But it's never really money, because it's just having a big sock drawer full of cash isn't going to be enough. It has to be, what is that money going to bring you? And you pointed that out beautifully when you said time freedom. So I would like to talk about that just a tiny smidgen, if I could hear from the other people. That for me, my why of why do I work for myself and why is it so important comes from the foundation that I had growing up from my parents. I learned at a very early age that the most important thing was your family and being with them. What was the point of going to a job so that you could make money, so that you could be with your family, but you're never with your family because you're at your job? And my parents were there. My mom was a stay-at-home mom. My dad owned his own business. They were there every minute of my life, and I just thought everybody did that. So I just want to ask everybody else, and please elaborate too, Brenda, but can anybody else share with us on that one? Sarah, Linda?
Sure, I'll dive in. I mean, when you ask me why do I want to work for myself, it is true that it's the time freedom, the flexibility to be able to do what I want when I want to do it, because, we're madly in love, all of us, I think, with education and events and going kind of out of town to see people and do things. And it's pretty tough to do that when you have a job that only gives you 1 or 2 weeks off a year to do things like that. But really, for me, the other thing that I found is my time when I was an employee or had a job, I was often really, really frustrated and feeling as though I wasn't using so much of who I am. And that's what I want. That's more what I want than money or than flexibility. Is I want to use all of me before I check out. I want to use every bit of my talents and ideas, and I have never been able to find a job where I could do that. Now, there may be one, and maybe I would be really happy at it, but meanwhile, I'm working for myself.
Wow, that's awesome. That is fantastic. I love that answer. What about you, Linda? You have to unmute though, hun.
Yes, I do. So I've got to say it's the flexibility and the time freedom. Um, but on the flip side of that time freedom, I find myself probably working more than when I worked for corporate. When you work for corporate, you know, you punch in at 9, you punch out at 5, and then you're done. But it just isn't the same as working for yourself. And having the ability in the middle of the day to, you know, do what it is that you want to do without asking permission for someone to do it. And I just love that flexibility. So for me, it's the only way to go.
That's fantastic. So I'm circling back to you again, Brenda, which is because, I mean, this is really something that you're starting us out on. But you know, what do you usually hear from people as far as their why goes? I mean, do they say the same things, or what do you hear?
No, usually people treat their why like living daily with no plan or reason, and they don't give it much thought. And they will usually say money, but it really does. It's exactly what you said. It has to be about what the money can do for them, or it will have no purpose. Nobody works for money alone. So, you know, it has a double-edged sword. But the other things I wanted to mention was Better Business Bureau, Forbes magazine. You can always check businesses against things like that, and of course the internet. And on the internet, you will see things that are negative and positive about everything. So you just have to be listen to who you are when you read the things that you do and make your decision from those things.
Wow, those are some powerful things. What happens when you find something on the internet like those, you know, somebody who's a disgruntled um, previous employee or previous distributor or something like that? You know, for me, I've always taken those things that I've read like that on with a grain of salt, because I always feel like that's the unique person who's so disappointed or unhappy. I usually like to talk to current, I mean, this is just me. I like to talk to current distributors or current participants or current customers and see what their experiences are when choosing a company. What has been your experience with that?
I think it depends on the personality of the person who's looking. And so if you're the type person who looks at a glass half full, then you gravitate toward the negative things that you read. It's that when you're looking online and you read things that are very negative, it also says something about your anxiety level about the experience and whether you truly want to start a business or not. Because it can be disruptive if you don't consider all these things.
That's
Okay,
really
so the third
interesting.
thing was, mhm.
I would say that's really interesting. So, quick recap of what you've said so far. What's your why? The products and services of the company, is it in alignment with you? Startup versus established company. Then you said check like other resources, the Better Business Bureau, things like that. What else were you saying?
No, I was going to say the support system, I think, is very significant. With the company, you have to make sure that, especially if you don't know anything about the area that you're entering, that they have a system of education and support. Because in every business, you need somebody to work with. So if you're looking independently for a business, then you have to uh, you join, and you'll join as a company member, or somebody will sponsor you in that business. If you have a sponsor or someone who wants to be your mentor in that business, that's great, because you'll have somebody that can support you, give you information from day to day. But you have to be sure that you resonate with that person, that you don't it's somebody that you like, because you just can't do business with somebody that you dislike. Even if you need money desperately, it doesn't work. So make sure that the company has a system of education within it that will support your needs. So, and you can look online to see what kinds of programs they have, but they have to be focused on the team rather than individual efforts. Because as a person who's not doing this quote quote full time, you will need support and you'll need information base. You also have to see and check their phone number availability, how you can do business, whether it's from your phone, Android and iPhone, the regular internet, if they have pamphlets and products for you to walk and talk to people so you can do regular networking, and if they have an 800 number for customer support and for rep support. Very, very important, because when you're entering a business, and even if you're an old school person, you have to make sure your customers and the people that you also get involved in your business have support. And it's through rep services and customer support. So the team concept is important.
That's really interesting too, and I'd love to hear from everyone else on this as well. I think that also lends itself to a business being duplicatable. And if a business is not duplicatable because you don't have materials or you don't have support or you don't have technology behind it, whatever it is, if it's not duplicatable, then you can't be the only person who knows how to do the business, and you can't be continuously going back to one person who knows everything and then nobody else can duplicate the efforts. And I'd love to hear, have you all had that experience? Because I have had that experience where I was in an organization where they just couldn't communicate to me how they had done what they had done. You know, and it was difficult. If you can't duplicate what they're doing with popping in a video or sending them to a website or something, then I don't know how you can continuously grow, because one person's charisma can't be the whole thing. And what do you think, Sarah? What's your thought? What's your thought, Linda?
Well, I agree with you. One person's charisma can never be the whole thing, and we certainly have seen things issues around that with other businesses that we know. But you know, if they produce marketing materials that are easy to understand and read, I think that's ideal, because in my experience when we joined in network marketing, I didn't have anybody in mind, they didn't even call it that, but there was really no one to support me. But there was enough written stuff, and DVDs and CDs. I just listened to all that, and I built my business based on that. So the company had done a really good job of providing educational materials, and I encourage you, you know, if you're looking at a company, make sure they have that, because you don't want to have to depend on the person above you. They might disappear, you know. You might have found a diamond that they didn't realize is a diamond, and that happens. And so if you're on your own, you want a company that can really give you that, and has put together materials for that, the average person, to succeed, because mostly what you deal with are average people. You don't want a business that is geared towards somebody that's got a PhD and it's got a $20,000 buy-in. I mean, maybe you do, but that to me sounds like it's a lot harder than one that's got material for somebody that has maybe an 8th grade education and makes an average income. If they can't buy in and succeed, it's going to be harder for you to grow your business.
Valuable information. I completely agree with you. How about you, Linda?
Well, one of the things that I think is, when you approach considering joining a company, step back and, you know, take a 10,000-foot evaluation of you, not necessarily the company. You know, the company has all this great information, tells you how to do all this other stuff, but you need to take a deep look down into yourself and say, these are the actions that the successful people are taking. Am I personally going to take those same steps myself? I see too many people that get wrapped up in the yay rah rah of, you know, everybody else is making money, I can make money too. But, you know, then drilling down and examining yourself and saying, do I and will I take these same actions to be successful?
Beautifully said. Beautifully said. And Brenda?
Very hard question. So the last thing we just have a few minutes to talk about is the affordability of your business. You have to look at your personal price points to see how much you can spend, and you should have that in mind when you're out looking for your business and your opportunity. And that naughty, naughty word, auto ship. You have to make sure that if there is an auto ship requirement, that you can afford that. And it has a way that you can abide with your commitment, that monthly commitment that's required. Because let's face it, if your product isn't essential, the products that they sell, they have to be essential, they have to be useful, and 90% or more of the population should want what you're offering or selling. Or you're selling to a very specific niche market. So, you know, that's why vitamins are so popular. That's why weight loss products are popular. So you just have to make sure it's essential, like air, water, electric, gas, things that are essential. Your company has to have those things to offer people, or it reduces your chance of success, really. And so when you consider the essential piece of the product and the auto ship as it relates to how much you can afford, then that's that closing piece that you really have to. Those are the things that will meld whether you're going to have a relationship with any specific company.
Wow, that is incredibly powerful. So it's been impressive, the information that you've shared. Do you have a final thought, or how can we reach you to get some personal advice might be the real thing? Because I think a lot of people might want to run some ideas past you, Brenda, and just see what your thoughts are. At least I think you have more of a bird's eye view, which is what Linda was just saying. Having a 10,000-foot perspective and a bird's eye view, it sounds to me like you might be somebody who can offer some information there.
Well, thank you. You can always reach me on Facebook at BrendaGrahamSuccessMentor.com. You can reach me at BrendaGraham.com. And just Google my name. I like to say I'm on the first page, Brenda Graham. Miss Julia has made sure that I am on the front page when you Google me. So you won't have any problem finding me.
That's true. You are easily...
I'll give a phone number, 410-302-1892. That's a number I always pick up.
That is fantastic. Well, I am very, very impressed, and I'd like everybody to give us a last and final sign-off and then kick it back to me. I really want to thank our expert today, Brenda Graham, BrendaGrahamSuccessMentor.com, for sharing. How do you decide what direct sales company or what company is the right one for your lifestyle and for your goals? I think we've gotten incredible information. Linda, would you like to do a nice sign off from IC New England?
Linda at lindakaye.com. Short and sweet. Done.
And Sarah Coolidge.
You know, what a great hangout today. I want to thank you, Brenda, for all your fabulous information, and I want to share one more tip for you guys. If you are thinking about this is a book that can also help you. If you're just beginning to look at network marketing or MLM or whatever you want to call it as a possible route for you in your future, there's lots of really great companies out there, and there are some that aren't so great. So take your time and think about it. Contact Brenda. She's obviously got lots of experience with different companies and may have some advice for you. And again, if you're a reader like me, this is Robert Kiyosaki's book. This is what he's talking about here, is network marketing. And of course, he also wrote Rich Man, Poor Man. This is what got me started in network marketing. It's a great way to learn some basic business skills, and you may move on from there, or you may find yourself right at home. Anyways, sorry for all that. If you want to reach me, I'm at ceospacewest.com, and CEO Space is all about helping you grow your business. If you're in a certain spot and you want to get to another, we help you close that gap. So please reach out to me. We'll see you next Monday. Thanks for joining us.
That is fantastic. I am very excited to have heard from everyone today. My name is Julia Flynn Worry. I'm located on the East Coast, and we get together every Monday morning to build momentum in our businesses to really kick off the week and get us on the right track. We are solopreneurs and entrepreneurs. I cannot thank Brenda, Sarah, and Linda enough for joining me every Monday morning here. And please come back and see us again. Let us know what your thoughts are. Ask us your questions. Send them off to me. JuliaFlynnWorry.com or MakeSomeMoneyHoney.com. You can reach me. You can send us your thoughts. You can book individual appointments with any one of us. We all love to help everyone grow. We're from the four corners of the States, the United States here. We're from all over the country, and we love to help. Again, Julia Flynn with Make Some Money Honey. Thanks for having us.
Have a great